second thoughts, we never have regrets. We give our total effort, we always give our best. We never make excuses, we never choose to fail. We always stand committed, we never choose to bail. We're always in position, at attention in our place. We never stop believing, we never lose the faith. We are always motivated, we are always inspired. We are always dedicated, we're always on fire. We all that, we bad, we wild, we all that.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of my Midweek Motivation. This is Darrell Kelly, and I'm hosting you today, and I'm glad to share with you this week's Midweek Motivation topic. Happens to be one of my favorite words, and it's the word expectation. Wait a minute, don't be alarmed, because I know I covered expectation in another series, but I had to bring it back. I think there's some more we could say about expectation. So let me start with the definition. The dictionary definition of expectation is the strong belief that something will happen. Yes, the strong belief. When you have expectation, that means you have the strong belief that something will happen. So that being the case, my question is, how strongly do you believe? How much effort really goes into what you say you believe? I ask that question because expectation without implementation is a disappointment waiting to happen. You feel me? Expectation without implementation is a disappointment waiting to happen. If you really have an expectation to be successful in any endeavor, you must implement the process, the procedure, the strategy, the plan, whatever it is, to make it a reality. It's just that simple. So to say you have great expectations is not enough. You must believe it, then you must do it. Why? Because expectation is the strong belief that something will happen. So let me hear you say expectation. Say it again. Say expectation. As a recording artist and one who's been involved in music for a very long time and even in production, I can hear in my creative mind a finished song, a complete song. But then because I can expect what that song should sound like, I have to go back now to start implementing the actual writing of the song, the actual composing of the music, the actual recording of the tracks. Why? Because it's not just expectation by itself, but there's some things that have to be implemented so that now the song that I hear in my own creative mind becomes something else that others can hear and enjoy and listen to as well. You see? The same is true for an artist who sees in his or her creative mind a finished work of art before ever taking the first stroke of a paintbrush. They've already envisioned, they've already have the expectation of what it is to look like, but then they go back and they begin to implement. What are you saying? Your ideas work just like that. Knowing what it is you expect at the end is actually where you start. So think about it. The music I hear in my mind, I'm actually starting at the end. That's what expectation does for you. If you're a student and your goal is to make an A in a particular course or particular subject, right? That's the end result. That's the expectation. I expect to make an A. So what happens? What has to happen? Implementation. You have to implement the time. You have to implement the focus. You have to implement the right study habits. You have to implement maybe getting with the right study groups, having a tutor, having a mentor, whatever the case might be to get there. Why? Because you're actually starting with the expectation of making the A. It's the strong belief that something will happen. So the point is, and we've even talked about this before, you can't even move in the right direction until you first decide where it is you're going. It could be something as simple as in the household. Think about this example. There's an item in your house that you need to replenish. You've run out of something. You'll decide, I need to buy this certain item. So what is that? That's the end. That's the end result. I need to buy this particular item. I've run out. I need some more. So what do you decide to do? You decide what store you're going to go to because you've got it from that store before and they should have them for the price that you expect. Then you'll decide, okay, let me go ahead and get dressed. You'll think about other items that you might want to purchase since you're going to be there already. Then you what? Then you look for your keys, you look for your purse, your money, your wallet, whatever the case. You get in your car, you start heading in a certain direction, and you're following all these steps. All of this implementation for what? for one thing you expect to buy. One thought that was the expectation that got the whole thing started. You see? So in essence, you started at the end. So now watch this. If you can do this every day or every week to go get a grocery, then you can do this every day to go get your goals, for your accomplishments, for your achievements. You can do this every day because you have the expectation to do so. So now with expectation, let's close with this idea right here, because I've given you already the dictionary definition of expectation. I want to give you my definition of expectation based on how we're talking today, all right? Expectation is living my current life as if my future goal is already accomplished. Living my current life as if my future goal is already accomplished. So, your exercise for the week is to think about, I want you to take a creative look, I want you to take a prophetic look into your own future and see, feel in your heart, see in your mind, what would be the most successful point of this pursuit, of this vision? What would be the most successful point? See yourself in that moment of what would be the most successful point of this that I am pursuing in my life, okay? I want you to write that down. After you write that down, underneath that, write down the impact that it's having on you. Write down the impact it's having on the world and the ones around you. That future moment of success, describe what it's like. Describe what it's like. Because expectation is the strong belief that something will happen. Now, this is not a paper you got to turn in. I'm not going to grade it. You know, you may ask, well, why do I need to write it down? Because, hey, if you don't have an expectation, then you're not going to know how to prepare. Even if you're already successful, but you want to go to another level, you got to envision that. Because if you don't know what to expect, you won't know how to prepare. And I want you to be prepared because there's greater things coming for you. All right, so your feet might be on the starting line, but your eyes have to be on the finish line. Don't just exist based on where you are, but live based on where you're going. That means you're going to live with high expectations. All right, so look, I just had to bring expectation back. That's all I have for you today. One word, my favorite word, expectations. It's been a good joy sharing with you once again on my midweek motivations. Hey, this is Darrell Kelly, and until next time, listen, live with high expectations. Talk to you later.